What if I told you there's a young African leader who's defied world powers, expelled foreign armies, and survived 18 assassination attempts, all while leading one of the poorest nations on earth into a fight for freedom? This is the story of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the man the West cannot stop. Before we dive in, family, make sure you subscribe to Black Journey and hit that bell because I share powerful news stories with you every single day. Now sit back, relax, and let me take you into this amazing story you don't want to miss. Whenever we think of Africa, images of poverty, hunger, and mass migration instantly come to mind. A place often seen as lawless, plagued by civil wars and coups, a land long considered a servant of the West. But what if I told you that in this same Africa, there's a country considered one of the poorest, a country that has seen 6 coups in just 20 years, and where terrorism has reached its peak, a country that has now given rise to a leader who has become the West's worst nightmare? His name is Ibrahim Traoré. Our country has long been trapped in a very complicated system, but that's no excuse for Burkina Faso. In this situation, there are only 2 choices. Either we fight, or we remain slaves forever. Today, Ibrahim Traoré dares to look the West straight in the eye. While the West threatens trade wars over alliances with Russia, this man is not only challenging them, but is building an anti-Western alliance. Whether forming African coalitions or striking deals with India and China, he has become the biggest threat to Western dominance in Africa. This is why the West has already tried to assassinate him 18 times. His convoy has been ambushed. His personal guards have been bribed with millions of euros, but every time Ibrahim Traoré has survived. Why is the West so desperate to take this man down? How did he become their greatest nightmare, a man they cannot remove no matter how hard they try? Let's uncover the full story in this video. To truly understand how a man from a small African nation became the West's biggest threat, we need to go back in history. Burkina Faso, once called Upper Volta, was a part of French West Africa, a federation of 8 territories including Mauritania, Senegal, and Mali. Though small, Burkina Faso is rich in natural resources, gold, cotton, uranium, and rare minerals like manganese, zinc, and copper. Yet today, this nation is one of the world's poorest. How is it that a country ranked 13th in global gold production is also the 8th poorest nation on Earth? The answer? Western exploitation. By the late 19th century, Western powers had colonized much of West Africa, stripping resources the same way Britain plundered India. France colonized Burkina Faso and turned it into a resource hub. Locals were subjected to forced labor, heavily taxed, and their raw materials flowed directly into France's treasury. France deliberately kept Burkina Faso underdeveloped. No industry, no infrastructure, and barely any education. The people were kept poor and dependent, unable to challenge Western imperialism. After World War II, independence movements spread across Asia and Africa. Under global pressure, France granted Burkina Faso independence in 1960, but it was independence in name only. France still controlled the nation's politics, economy, and trade through neocolonialism, signing military pacts to station French troops, controlling Burkina Faso's currency, and securing all mining and resource contracts for French corporations. Maurice Yameogo was installed as the president, a puppet leader serving Western interests. But the people were furious. They had fought for freedom, only to remain in the same chains. In 1966, amid widespread corruption and protests, a military coup ousted Yameogo. But the new leader, Colonel Lamizana, proved no better. Burkina Faso remained politically unstable, and France continued to drain its wealth. The instability deepened in the 1980s. By 1983, Burkina Faso had suffered multiple coups. Then came a man who would change everything, Thomas Sankara, a revolutionary leader who became Traoré's role model. Sankara renamed the country Burkina Faso, meaning land of upright people. He openly accused France and Western powers of exploiting Africa, vowing to break free from their control. Sankara implemented sweeping reforms, nationwide literacy campaigns, mass vaccination programs, and bold women's rights policies, banning forced marriages and female genital mutilation. He stripped corrupt elites of luxuries, banning Mercedes cars for officials, and cycled through the streets in military fatigues. He fought for true independence, refusing IMF and World Bank loans, and calling foreign aid a trap. By 1987, Sankara had become a serious threat to Western dominance in West Africa. On October 15, 1987, he was assassinated in a coup led by Blaise Compaoré with French backing. Compaoré reversed Sankara's reforms, reinstated Western influence, and ruled as a dictator for 27 years. Burkina Faso plunged into poverty, while Compaoré grew rich. In 2014, after Compaoré tried to extend his rule, mass protests erupted. Parliament was set ablaze and the dictator fled to Ivory Coast. But even after his fall, Burkina Faso remained unstable, now facing a new enemy: terrorism. After Gaddafi's fall in Libya, 2011, fighters flooded the Sahel region, bringing chaos to Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. By 2021, nearly 40% of Burkina Faso's territory was under jihadist control. French and US troops were present to fight terrorism, but they did nothing to stop it. In reality, Western powers used terrorism as an excuse to maintain control over West Africa. Frontline soldiers were dying daily, with no weapons, no resources, while their leaders sipped cocktails with French advisors. It was this betrayal that pushed young officers to take matters into their own hands. In September 2022, Captain Ibrahim Traoré led a coup that would change Burkina Faso forever. At just 34 years old, Traoré went on national TV and declared, "The future of Burkina Faso changes today." He vowed to continue Sankara's vision. He refused to promote himself to general, kept his rank as captain, and rejected a presidential salary. He called himself a soldier of the people. Traoré immediately recruited 50,000 civilian volunteers to fight jihadists alongside the army. He launched anti-corruption campaigns, cut elite privileges, and began dismantling Western influence. In 2023, he approved Burkina Faso's first state-owned gold refinery, halting raw gold exports to keep profits in country. In 2024, he suspended foreign gold export permits, striking a major blow to Western interests. Then came the ultimate shock. He expelled French troops and the French ambassador and banned French-backed media outlets. He declared, "Motherland or death." Traoré openly asked, "How are we poor when our land is rich?" With this bold stance, Burkina Faso became a symbol of African resistance. And Ibrahim Traoré, the man the West has tried to kill 18 times, remains the face of Africa's fight for sovereignty. Thank you for watching this story of courage and resistance. If Ibrahim Traoré's fight for true African freedom inspired you, let us know in the comments. Your voice matters. Don't forget to hit the like button, share this video to spread the truth, and subscribe to Black Journey for more powerful stories the world needs to hear. Together we can keep history alive.